Hello there. So we're back. We got our first upgrade to the Lightning done. First of many, I assume, but we put new tires on. Cooper Discover AT3s. So didn't have much of a choice. We live on a gravel road. We use the truck. So I didn't realize this when I bought the truck. Ford put 4-ply tires on it. I can tell you this much: 4-ply tires don't work out here on the farm. We drove the truck roughly 2,000 miles. We've already had 2 flats. But it does make the truck look a lot more aggressive. A lot more aggressive. I really like these tires so far. So a little bit more road noise, but it is what it is. These are going to be a lot better for off-road, for the gravel road and off-roading, and they're just an all-terrain tire. Plus, I got a $70 rebate, and the tires are made in the United States, so all good things. So, but we drove the truck, well, like I said, 2,000 miles now, and we really like it. So it's been well worth it for me already. The wife drives it. She's taking the kids to their doctor's appointments. We dropped the boy off at school. We dropped my daughter off at school, and we've been really happy with it so far. It's been a really good truck so far. I don't know if you can notice it or not, but right down there, drove it out here in the field, and I've got the milk cows out here on pasture. So I thought it'd look better out here in the field, so I drove it out here. But there's actually poop on it, cow poop. I guarantee you the Ford engineers never intended for cow poop to be on a Lightning, but that's where it is. So, but now that we've got the upgraded tires, we can do the hay hauling video that I promised. We're going to do it. I actually did mean to do a video the other day, and I didn't get it done. I did tow with it for the first time the other day. It did a really fantastic job. It has more horsepower than my diesels. Not quite as much torque, but for what I was doing, I didn't need the torque. I rented a no-till drill from my county NRCS office, and we towed it home with this truck. And other than the jerking, which is the machine problem, that's not a Lightning problem. That just what the machine is. So it's on 3 wheels, and so it's just constantly loose. And I could have done a little bit better. I could have made it a little bit better to where it didn't jerk so much, but we just drove it home about 15 miles. So it was just one of those things where you just take it easy and go slow, and you know, you don't have a problem. So that's what we did, and this truck didn't even know it was back there. I mean, other than the slight jerking, which is, like I said, that was a machine problem, not a Lightning problem. But other than the slight jerking, this truck didn't even know it was back there. I mean, it towed it fine. It's 10 foot wide. It did a great job. I was really happy with it. I couldn't have been, it couldn't have done a better job than what it did. That no-till drill is probably 4,000 or 5,000 pounds. I'm not 100% sure. And it towed it like it wasn't even back there. I mean, it didn't, yeah, we didn't have a single problem. So I was really happy with it. The thing I didn't realize was on the tow haul mode, it will take off 1 pedal driving. I did not know that. Don't really know why they did that, but it came up when, as soon as I hit the tow haul mode in the center stack screen, it shut the 1 pedal driving off. Not really sure why it would do that, but I just went ahead and put it back in normal mode, turned the 1 pedal driving back on, and it did fine even with the 1 pedal driving pulling that thing. And I don't have to use the brakes at all then. I don't figure the highway treads were ever going to be a real issue, because we're not, you know, it's not like I'm going to feed grain with this or put a flatbed on it and haul hay bales around the farm or that kind of stuff. It would be kind of neat for them to come out with a truck that I could do that with. That would be electric, just for the simple fact that most of the time those farm trucks that go out and feed cattle, you know, carry the hay bales around with flatbeds and that kind of stuff, they normally don't get very far away from the farm. They normally stay right around the farms. 250 mile would probably be more than enough for those guys if they can plug it in. I would love to have like a 1-ton truck with 250 miles of range to just do feeding with. but that's sometime in the future. I don't suspect that's coming anytime soon. So, but so far, now that we've got these new tires on it, we're gonna get the hay hauled. We're gonna go now, and since we got the new tires on it, we're gonna go get pig feed with it. I've fed all my pig feed, so I've got to go get that today probably. I may hook the trailer up and put the feed on the trailer. I don't know. I've also got to get some steel. We've got to redo my I've got a couple of poles that are on my feed floor that have rotted off where the pole meets the concrete, and so the whole barn's leaning a little bit, which is not a good thing when you're using it every day, twice a day. So we're gonna put it I've got a guy coming out in the morning. We're gonna drive the steel square tubing right down in the same hole. We're gonna weld on top of it. We're gonna redo the posts on that one side of the barn in steel. We're gonna rebuild the rafter and get all that done and make it good and secure before we get it all, before it falls down, which would be just a disaster in and of itself. That barn, come to speak of it, I'm gonna switch my arms since I'm getting a little tired holding that camera out there. But one interesting thing about the feed floor, a little bit of story time here. My dad hired a guy, and interesting feller. He just kind of showed up out of the blue and said he needed a job, so my dad hired him. And he asked him, he said, "Man, I'm so hungry. What do you have to eat?" And Dad's like, "I don't have anything cooked right now." He said, "But I got a whole box of cornflakes if you want them." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to have that." And so he's like, "Well, do you have any milk?" And Dad's like, "I've got the milk," but he said, "We pull it straight out of the bulk tank." And he said, "So it ain't pasteurized." "Well, I can't have that. It ain't pasteurized." He said, "Well, he said, I can understand that." So the guy sat down, ate the whole box of cornflakes with water. I think I personally would have rather had the cornflakes dry, but whatever. That was on him, not on me. So he went outside. After he ate his cornflakes, he went outside and helped my dad. They were building the feed floor with my uncle. And he went outside. He's like, "Oh, it's super sunny today. I can't have the sun on my skin. I'll burn and I'll get cancer." Dad's like, "All right, no problem." So got him a long sleeve shirt and got him a big hat and sunglasses and gloves because they were working in concrete. Well, guy got out there and he's like, "Oh my goodness, it's still super bright. I'm still getting a lot of sunlight in around my sunglasses." And Dad's like, "All right." So the guy went back into the dairy barn, got himself duct tape, and he duct taped the gloves to the shirt, to the long sleeve shirt. And according to my dad's story, which I would think would be incredibly painful, but this is the way the story was told to me. He duct taped the sunglasses around his eyes so the sun couldn't get to his eyes. So I don't even know what to think about that. But I do know this much: the way he behaved made my uncle upset, let's just say upset. But he did help my dad, and he did help my uncle pour the barn, and my dad said he wrote him a check for the day's work. The guy went ahead and walked on his way, and Dad said as far as he knows to this day, he's never cashed that check. So a little interesting story, kind of one of those family legends. I'd really like to kind of have him tell the story, because he could probably tell it better than I could. But from the stories that I've heard, my uncle was ready to get him. He didn't think he was much help, but Dad thought he was enough help to keep him around. But anyway, interesting story. So, but I thought I'd share the video about it. I'm gonna try to get the wife on here. I'm trying to talk her into it. She doesn't really want to be on camera much, but I would like to get her opinion on the truck. I really like it so far. In the 2,000 miles that we've drove it, we've only supercharged it 3 times. So I think that's pretty good. The first time we charged it was right after we bought it, and we didn't have the charger at home set up. We would have been fine if we'd had the charger at home set up. We wouldn't have had to supercharge it, but we went ahead and did it so that we'd have plenty of miles in case something went wrong and we didn't get the charger hooked up correctly. Because one thing about living on an old farm is we don't have all the electrical stuff isn't brought up to modern standards. So we have a lot of 3-prong stuff and a lot of just plain old 2-prong stuff. A lot of what we have, you know, the outlets were put in there in the 50s and they were just 2-prong. They didn't even have a 3rd prong. And now a lot of stuff like the 220s, they have 4 prongs. So we had to upgrade the power plugs in the shop, and we're gonna have to do the same thing up around the house in order for this truck to work. So we charged it that first time. We probably didn't have to, but we went ahead and did it. And the supercharging the first time. The second time we drove the truck to the state fair, which is right at, well, there and back is right at 300 mile. We went ahead and did that. We thought we could make it home, or at least we thought we could make it home, but we decided, why risk it? I mean, it was showing within about 15 mile of being able to make it home. And we thought, why risk it? So we just went ahead and stopped off and we supercharged. And then the other day, the wife supercharged because she did a lot of driving the day before. We do not have the 80 amp charger installed yet. And so we're still using the 30 amp charger that came with the truck. And she did a lot of driving the day before and didn't have enough time to get the truck charged all the way up before she had to take off the next day. And so she went ahead and stopped at a supercharger and topped the truck off. So, but we've only supercharged, in 2,000 miles, we've only supercharged it 3 times. And really 2 of those times you could kind of argue whether or not we needed to or not. But we went ahead and did it. And honestly, Ford gave us, I have to go back and look, I think it was 250 kilowatts of supercharging time for free when we bought the truck. So we haven't even had, I guess I've paid for it one time. We stopped at a charger, I guess, that wasn't in their network, and I had to pay for it one time. And that was when we came back from the state fair, and it only cost me $8.80. So, I mean, right now that's only like 3-4 gallon of gas, depending on the pricing where you're at. Around here, it's about it's closer to 4 gallon of gas. No, that's wrong. $8.80. It's $3.40, 3 something. So yeah, that's wrong. It'd only be 2 gallon of gas. 2.5, 3. Yeah, somewhere between 2 and 3 gallon of gas. So, but that's what we've done. We got the tires on, so now we can actually put some weight in the bed. We can do some towing with it, and plus they're a more aggressive tire. So that's gonna work a lot better. That's why we haven't done those videos. I mean, we drove the truck 1,200 mile and had a first flat, and we hadn't done anything heavy with it yet at all at that point. We had literally just drove up and down our gravel road and drove it into town. And then I guess Chandel's mom lives on a gravel road, and she's drove it up and down that gravel road. But all told, she lives less than a mile down a gravel road. We live about a mile down a gravel road. And her brother, which is just down the road from her mom, probably lives about a mile, mile and a half down that gravel road. So really, it hasn't seen a lot of gravel road, and we've already had 2 flats. So I don't blame the tires. Their tires are just not, they just weren't designed for what we were using it for. So I'm not saying they're a bad tire, it's just they weren't the right tire for our specific application. We're gonna have lots of more videos coming forward now. Our other modification we're wanting to do is we're wanting to put a bed cover on the truck. I think it would drastically help with range and, well, I guess fuel economy. But so I think that's what we're wanting to put on it. I've also looked at, they've got a deal that slides up into the truck and you can slide it out. And it's from Decked, I forgot what they call it. But I didn't want the decked system with the drawers. I just wanted that big slide. I thought that would be kind of handy, especially for this truck. It was, I think weight capacity on that was like 1,500 pounds, which is about all this truck's rated to haul anyway. 1,725 I think it was on payload. But that also includes everything you have in the cab, so your passengers, your cargo, everything in the cab plus what's in the bed. So 1,500 pounds, you know, by the time you put 2 adults and 2 children and the car seats and anything else you have for going on a day trip for the kids and for yourselves, you know, by the time you fit all that in the front and then you put 1,500 pounds in the bed, that's the payload of the truck. That's all. I mean, that's all you got. And honestly, you're probably going to be a touch overloaded at that point. But something I didn't show you, and I meant to show you, is it not going to open for me? Okay. Is the tires. I don't think they're bad tires, they're just not right for this application. So you can see they're more of a highway tread design. I don't think the highway tread would have bothered me so much. The truck's full-time 4-wheel drive. So, I mean, even in grass, full-time 4-wheel drive, the highway treads would have been enough for what we're going to do with it. I mean, I'm not going to bury this thing in mud. That's not the plan. So, I mean, I plan on taking care of the truck. I plan on using the truck, but I plan on taking care of the truck. But the biggest thing was they're just 4-ply. And I get it. I do. You know, from Ford's perspective, you know, they're probably saving quite a bit of money per tire only putting 4-plies on it. But dang, they should have just been 10s. They should have just been 10s. It would have just eliminated the whole problem. But I got a good Cooper Discover AT3 tire on it. They're 10 plies. I really like the way they look. And I guess I bought them at the right time. They've got a $70 mail-in rebate on them. I've got my tire guy, he's printing off the stuff for me to be able to do that. So, and I really like these trucks. It really toughened the truck up. I mean, my gosh, you go from a highway tread to an all-terrain tire with these side lugs on it, and it really changes the look of the truck. I like it a lot more now. It's a lot more muscular, a lot more, just, to me, it looks a lot more trucky, if that's a word, trucky. But that's the word I'm going to use. It looks a lot more trucky. So, but we've been really happy with it so far, and we got a lot more videos coming with it now that we've got the heavier duty tires on it. So be sure and stay tuned. We're gonna get some videos of this. I'm gonna use my drone. That way we can actually see what it looks like from the air. And so we're gonna have a lot of fun with this truck. And like I said, I'm gonna try to get my wife's perspective on this truck, and we're gonna see how it does. So, because I think she's really enjoying it so far. But I'd like to get her perspective. She's actually probably drove it more than I have. And I'd like to get her perspective because she has a very different perspective on things than I do. One thing I love about her, she doesn't think about things the way I think about things. Like, at all. Like, yeah, I guess it's true that opposites attract, because, yeah, she doesn't think about things at all like I think about things. So, but anyway, I'll get off here. Be sure to like and subscribe to the video. We got a lot more coming. We're gonna have a good time with this truck. And if you're not into the EV thing, we're gonna do some stuff to my 2003 6.0 diesel truck. We're gonna do some stuff to my 95 OBS 7.3 truck. And you're gonna see my dad's 2015 6.7 Power Stroke too. So we use them all. And we're gonna do some stuff to them. My 2003 needs a paint job. I'm thinking about putting a big full replaceable bumper on it. Needs the bed replaced. That's been a very good truck for me. My dad bought it brand new, and I was actually there when he bought it. And so that truck's been a part of my life ever since 2003. I was 13. I remember thinking when he bought it in 2003, I'm gonna drive this truck to high school. And sure enough, I did. He bought a new truck in 2008, a 6.4 Power Stroke truck, and I bought that one from him. So I sure enough did. I drove it to high school. So when I remember in 13, I remember thinking, I'm gonna drive this to high school. It's gonna be my dad's truck, but I drove it to high school and it was my truck. So I was really thankful for that, and it's been a really good truck for me. I mean, it's got 220,000 miles on it now, and we've completely redone the motor in it. I mean, heads, gaskets, everything. There's only one minor problem. And I can't think of the term right now. It's got a valve that sits underneath the turbo that's seeping oil. And as long as you park it with the nose down the hill, it start right up when it's cold and never have a problem. But if you park it up a hill, that nose up a hill, man, it just won't hardly start. I mean, it just won't hardly do it. And so we got to get that problem fixed. That one's coming before too long. And we'll walk around that truck. I've done a walk around. If you look at my older videos, I've done a walk around of my 95 7.3 OBS truck. And I need to do a walk around of my red truck because that's been a good truck for me. I really like that truck. It's a 6-speed manual truck. And one thing I like about that vehicle is that when you're driving it, you're driving it. Where this one, it's got the hands-free driving and all that, and all that's really nice for your daily driver stuff. But whenever you want to drive the truck and say just go on a drive, I like being a part of the vehicle. I think that's why my dream vehicles are like the 2013 14 GT500 and the newest generation GT350. It's because they're manuals. I want to be part of the vehicle. I want to feel the vehicle. I want to be part of the equation. And I feel like with an automatic, you're just not near as part of the equation. It takes a lot of it out of you. It takes a lot of it out of the human equation. And it's fun, but it's not, to me, it's not as fun. I like being a lot more of the equation than what an automatic gives you. So, and that's why I think that's one of the biggest reasons why my ultimate dream car is a 2005 Ford GT. It's a manual car, 5.4 liter engine, supercharged. I'm just a Ford guy. That's what I am. I've always been that guy. I can respect the other cars, but I always lean towards the blue emblem. Always have. I can respect the other cars. Like I can respect the Cummins, a good Cummins engine, or a good Hemi engine. I can respect it. And an LS, man, there ain't nothing wrong with a Chevrolet gas engine, except for I guess the one that my mom's got in her Equinox. That's not a very, I wouldn't get one of those. It's been a good enough car for them, but it sure burns a lot of oil. So he's hit a deer with it. My dad hit a deer with it. And I truly thought that car was destroyed because he hit it on a 4-lane at about 60 mile an hour. And when he pulled it home, I thought that car is gone because I thought it was in the subframe. I thought, my God, that car is gone. But they just unbolted it and it fixed it all up. And he's still driving it this day. He's put quite a bit of he drives it to Springfield every day, which is about a 45, 50 mile drive. So it's been a good car for them. I can't complain about that. But it does burn a lot of oil. So be sure to like and subscribe. And we got a lot more coming. Even if you don't like the EV stuff, we got the good old diesel power coming. So we're going to be there. And we've got several older vehicles that we're wanting to fix up. I've got a 1970, forgot what it is. It's actually my uncle's truck. But I'm going to try to buy it off of him. My grandma hit a tree with it by accident and folded it in, but surprisingly enough, she couldn't have split the frame rails any better if she would have tried. So the frame's fine on it, but it needs a whole front clip, and it's been sitting a long time. And me and a buddy have talked about it quite a bit, about maybe trying to find an old junk 6.0 LS engine in a junkyard somewhere and putting it down in that truck. It'd be fun to make it supercharged, but I don't know. I personally would like to put a 6-speed in it. We may put an automatic in it. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. That's a long time future project, unless things really take off for the channel or something. But it's just a 2-wheel drive truck, so I don't want to slam it to the ground, but since it is a 2-wheel drive truck, I'll probably lower it a little bit. Not sure about tires and wheels. Not really sure how I feel about that. I don't know, with the like those semi tires, I've seen a lot of them put those semi tires on them. That looks pretty good, but at the same time, I like to be able to drive my trucks, and those trucks don't look like they could ever really drive very far. They're just show trucks. So probably won't go that route. If I do it, we'll probably just go back with a little bit bigger wheel. I don't know. We'll have to see when the time comes. That's all that's all neither here nor there, and it's way in the future. So things could also change a lot. Who knows? We could be rolling around on those ball wheels like in iRobot, the movie with Will Smith. And I don't know if anyone knows, but like all the wheels on them cars, they were like giant metal balls or like rubber balls, and they just ran around. Who knows? A couple years we may, who knows? In 5-10 years we may have those. Who knows? Who knows what we'll have in the future? So anyway, I'll get off here. Be sure to like and subscribe to the video. I think I've said that 3 times now, but it's no less true than it was the first time.